What you're seeing is advanced warfare. Atlas has the single largest standing military in the world, but we answer to no country. Unlike the government, we don't keep secrets of our capabilities. We don't sell policy, we sell power. We are a superpower for hire.
Advanced Warfare has gone to great lengths to reinvigorate Call of Duty. A jump into the future, cybernetic abilities, and the touch of a new lead development team at Sledgehammer Games makes this iteration the biggest and most successful departure since Call of Duty 4 Modern Warfare. Advanced Warfare has taken Call of Duty's excellent shooting mechanics and committed completely to the idea that mobility and flexibility are king. The topics of Advanced Warfare's bravado-filled story are lent gravity by reflecting real-world news. Weapons of mass destruction, a dysfunctional Congress, growing private militaries, and American interventionism. There's a layer of truth beneath it all that's genuinely scary. Actors Troy Baker and Kevin Spacey nail their roles as player character Jack Mitchell and corporate army leader Jonathan Irons. Mitchell is gruff and reserved after a personal loss, and Irons speaks with unwavering confidence. He's the kind of charismatic bad guy I can't help but like. Their performances are enhanced by some of the best and most expressive character models I've ever seen. The biggest hindrance to Advanced Warfare's story is the way it fails to establish its characters' relationships. The earliest interaction is between Mitchell and his friend, but their conversation feels like they've just met. The same thing happens when Irons gives you a tour of Atlas headquarters. 6 hours later, it ends with a confusing, cheesy moment that doesn't quite tie off the story. Advanced Warfare admirably takes risks with its campaign, and it mostly succeeds. You can expect a handful of stereotypical, linear missions where you follow the person in front of you. However, others come with refreshing twists that change how you take on the somewhat repetitive human and drone enemies. Most notably, a few powerful missions give you some real freedom. In a stealth level, I grappled onto ledges, sneaked through bushes, and found my own paths through dangerous areas. For once, Call of Duty made me feel like a badass without needing to blow anything up. What's truly impressive, though, is how Advanced Warfare occasionally pulls off action worthy of a QuickTime event without any button prompts. I made cool stuff happen on my own terms. And the arsenal is impressive too, with a variety of mostly typical but great sounding weapons. Some really stand out, like grenades that highlight enemies, or lasers that cut through armor. The most annoying part of the campaign is that we don't have access to the full range of exo movements, like boost jumps and dashes, in every single level. Having that liberating power taken away feels crippling. You do get to use the exosuit all the time in multiplayer, and it's the kind of change I was looking for in Call of Duty. It's intuitive, fun, and it affects everything you do. After just a few matches, I was jumping through windows and onto buildings to get the drop on enemies below. If someone shot me first, I was able to get creative with how I escaped. In modes like Capture the Flag, I felt like I had to be on top of my game, and when I scored a kill, it felt hard-earned and well-deserved. Suits also come with power slots for skills like invisibility, enhanced speed, and more. They're all fun and useful in different ways, but I often found myself completely ignoring the powers that take a second to activate. When you take a fast shooter and make it even faster, that second is the difference between life and death. Advanced Warfare unlocks items at a faster pace than ever. I quickly earned supply drops full of persistent loot like cosmetic items, new weapons, and temporary perks like a double XP boost. There are also more unique attachments than before, such as a weapon sight that highlights enemies through walls. These unlocks complement the usual XP system and challenges for each weapon. And despite the wealth of items, it never feels overwhelming. The Pick 13 system, which expands on Black Ops 2's Pick 10, gives tons of flexibility. Lots of people just aren't good enough to make use of the higher level kill streaks, so why have them? Just fill that slot with another weapon attachment, or take a second perk. Play how you want isn't just an ideal, it's baked into Advanced Warfare at a fundamental level. One of the best new multiplayer features is a huge time saver. From the lobby, one button drops you into a virtual firing range where you can safely test new gear in a consequence-free environment. It's convenient and useful, and it should become standard in any loadout-based multiplayer shooter. The new collection of maps and modes make great use of the exosuit to create variety. Maps encourage both vertical movement in some areas and more traditional Call of Duty action in others. Modes like Uplink and CTF benefit from a hectic pace, and others like the One Life Only Search and Destroy rein you back in. There's even a noob-friendly multiplayer environment that kicks out anybody with a high kill-death ratio. It ensures that you can kick back and enjoy yourself without sweating over the competition. third mode in Advanced Warfare is a wave-based cooperative mode where the fun comes from never knowing what's going to happen next. One moment you're fighting attack dogs, then you're collecting intel, and then you're fending off giant robots. It's a mix of good offensive and defensive objectives, and working together with up to 3 friends and picking complementary exos is crucial as the waves become more difficult. The way Sledgehammer has integrated movement into every aspect of how we fight has gone above and beyond. By designing the levels and objectives in the campaign, co-op, and multiplayer to facilitate those new mechanics, Advanced Warfare is granted a weight and importance that changes how Call of Duty feels. This is a Call of Duty game to its core, but one that rehashes as little as possible while still retaining its strengths.